This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Deathmark and the sounds of chewing. Ugh, gross. It's like an old person. Anyway, in the last episode, we left the shrine and tried to figure out what to go to next, but with a little bit of sensory input from Mary, we were able to find a kid and an older man hanging around a phone booth, and found out that there's a rumor about a phone booth about a lady who can tell you anything about anything if you answer the questions right. But unfortunately, this ghost has, despite previous stories, has caused the mark to appear on this child and man. So now we need to figure out why she did it, or if it's not her, who else is doing it. So let's see if we can get it from the mouth of the lady herself, as she keeps chewing on her curds and whey. Hanayome is supposed to tell you the location of whatever you're looking for. Christy told me to ask about the Buddha statues that were stolen from H Shrine. I'll give it a try. ... Buddha statues. Buddha says you are, where we have the mark of the Buddha. Tell me you want to know Buddha. Mark of the Buddhas. Tell me. The line goes dead. Well, that was awkward. The woman's scream is still ringing in my ears. I feel sick. Must be because of my brush with that bird curdling sandy. Why didn't she answer my question? What was different from when the others asked? The mark on my arm burns dully, like it's reminding me it exists. Maybe this is why she was acting strangely. And she did say something to the effect that Buddha gave me this mark. Was she just too insane to differentiate between Buddha and the monstrous spirit? Or is this mark really the work of divine wrath from the Buddha statues? I wait a while longer, but the phone doesn't ring again. There's no point in staying in here. As soon as I leave the booth, Suzu comes up to me. You don't look good. Did something happen in there? I tell Suzu about my conversation with Hanayome. I wonder what's going on. She answered my question okay. Suzu's brow furrows in confusion. Do you want to see about the other telephone box? Maybe some clues are there. Or you could try one more time there. There's no time to get lost in thought. The last phone booth is at the park by the tea apartments in the other direction. We'll head there after stopping at the mansion. And it's probably wise to ask Mary what she knows, since it's on the way. New info was added to the spirit file, the second phone box. Well, let's read up on that then, shall we? Oops. Let's play that again, shall we? In the booth is a poster looking for info on a crime that happened nearby. The phone rings while I'm distracted, just like the rumors when I pick up a strange woman answers, smacking her lips. But I can't get info on the statues from her. For some reason, she's behaving differently from what we were told to expect. There's one more telephone booth. We better check it out, too. Alright, well, back to the car. Return to the mansion. Now let's swap out for Ita this time. Why not? Don't think too hard about it, dude. Oh, and yeah, we're gonna ask Mary if there's anything new. I tell Mary what happened at the phone box. Say Hanayome acted strangely. She called the spirit that cursed you with the mark Buddha. I cannot say I know what she saw, but from what you said, she will likely not respond to your question. That does not mean she does not understand you, however. Use any method available to obtain as much information as you can. I feel like this chapter, interesting enough, is actually going to be a bit different from the other ones. Like, instead of just going through a dungeon or dungeon or whatever you want to call it from previous, where you go on a map explore, I feel like we just go to different locations to get info. So that's a nice change of pace. So okay, let's leave. Let's go to the park then. I guess that's because we already did the rest area, right? So on our way to the park. I see a small park tucked between all the looming apartment buildings. There's no one here. I guess everyone's already asleep. I'm pretty sure that that's the phone booth for the Hanayome rumors. Man, parks are kind of eerie when there's no kids around. Well, now that I'm here, I still have no idea why Hanayome hung up on me. I followed the rumors exactly. Where did I go wrong? I scratched my head. Does that deserve a flight flashback? Don't adhere to the gossip. Defy it. Voice again. Suddenly I hear that strange voice again. Gossip? In other words, the rumors. What will happen if I don't follow the rumors? Ida, go back to the car. There's something I want to try, but it might end up backfiring on me. Okay. Make sure you come back. I can't drive, so you're 33, dude. Well, then again, there are some people that don't need to drive, so, but still, a lot of people. I mean, well, I guess in Japan, you're not required to drive because there's a lot of public transportation. Here in America, like, not being able to drive or having your vehicle is very inconvenient depending on the city you live in. Oh, right. Wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Ida pops out his chest and holds his index finger up. Don't tell me you picked your nose with that. I've got some good info from the BBS. Or the, what's the... Oh, that's BBC. I was trying to make a joke about that, but... I guess Hanayome has this weird fixation on eyes. If something goes wrong, just remember that. So... What are you telling me to do? I'm not really sure either. Anyway, just avoid saying I and things like that. Don't talk about myself? No, I mean I. E-Y-E. As an eyeball. Oh, and just in case, don't mention words that have the sound either. ... Or like, are you an idiot? There's a limit to there is a limit to unreliability. I'll keep it in mind. Ito returns to the car. I step inside and wait for the phone to ring. There's a poster in this booth too. Just like the one at the rest area, this one looks like it's been here for a few years. Young woman kidnapped. A young local woman was kidnapped close to this location. If you were a witness to this crime, please notify the police, MPD. February 8th. 5 years ago. I think the poster I saw at the rest area had the exact same date. Coincidence? I think not. We've all watched Incredibles. Or if you haven't, you're a monster. The phone rings. I grab the receiver and slowly pick it up. I hear a noise like someone chewing gum from the other end of the phone. Ah, gross! Sick! An icy cold voice speaks. See it. What do we say? I haven't seen it, so I saw it. Yeah, we want to do the opposite, so I saw it. You saw it, didn't you? You saw that thing on me! Whoa, calm down, lady. Jesus Christ. The voice cuts off. Ah, something outside collides violently with the glass of the booth, but I can't see it. Uh-oh. Live or die. Great. Now what? Now what do we gotta do? Tell me, how did you see it? So we're supposed to defy rumors, right? So... with your own eyes or eyeglasses? A telescope? So nothing that has to do with eyes if we're gonna base on what? My own eyes, yeah, let's go telescope because it doesn't have anything to do with eyes. Safe! Go to first base! Dad. It sounds like something's searching around outside the phone box. Well? You saw it! You said you saw it! Unacceptable! What color? A beautiful color. Red, pink, green. I don't know, like green. I'm trying to think. Maybe pink because, no? I'm not sure on this one. I think it was red, maybe pink, most likely green. I'm gonna say pink. I don't know why. It's like maybe it's because you can have red or green eyes. I don't know. Dot. Or safe second base. You saw it. What kind of person are you? What's important to you? Your dreams, romance, love. Which do you choose? This is another one I'm not sure of because the only thing we had to do was eye, and something and nothing related to eyes. Maybe romance. No, they all have E in it. Maybe dreams. I'm gonna say dreams. Hopefully that's right. Oh, nope. That's not right. At least it didn't kill me. Survived. I'm thinking it was love. I don't know why. The phone goes dead. The next I know, the bloody handprint is gone, and so is the ominous presence. The questions she asked me were strange. She was particularly anxious about what I had seen. I think I did a good job not mentioning anything like eyes in my answers. Overly conscious over being seen. Maybe that's where her secret lies. I exit the booth and Ida rushes up to me. Did something happen? My mark hurts all of a sudden. I tell Ida about what happened in the telephone booth. Man, it beats me. What good are you? And then once again we see a picture of a man thrown in the garbage. Guess there's no way he'd have the answer. Oh, hey! Something's on the ground there. Sure enough, there's a folded up piece of paper lying near the booth. Looks like a piece of stationery. I don't think it was there before I went to the phone box. I pick up the paper and open it. To Psycho. Or Sekiro? I kind of want to play that again, but man, that gave me a lot of trouble. I'll dispel all of your heartache. So forget that horrible incident and take your quiet rest up in heaven. An incident? The posters I saw in the telephone booths mentioned something like that too. Could they be connected? I ask Ida what they think. Ida what they think? Would it be what he thinks? The way that they use pronouns in this game is weird. I almost think it's not like a random choice to just decide on who's there or not, because it said Ida's name before that, so that's obviously a proofread or translation issue or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think he's considering it seriously. Anyway, we've visited all 3 boxes now. Want to head back? I bet Suzu's worried about us. Yeah. We should probably head back for now. New info was added to the spirit file, the 3rd phone box. Now let's go and read that, shall we? Hanayomi's acting even more strangely than before. She seems anxious about being seen or eyes in general. It's impossible to be sure since it's only over the phone. Plus the note we found outside the booth is disconcerting. To Psycho, I'll dispel all of your heartaches, so forget that horrible instant. Take your quiet rest up in heaven. Well, back to the mansion. To the mansion! To the maniac mansion. Actually, I'd rather be playing the Rick theme from it. Yeah, anyway. I should play that game, like, find a good way to play it online or something like that. Anyway. Oh, welcome back. Christy is there in the garage. She's going through the files full of articles on criminal cases. How did the investigation go? Okay, I guess. Ida and I tell Christy what we discovered. Huh, I see. I can see Christy's mind working. Hey, Mr. Atterdack, you know those posters and that bit of stationery you found? Could they be linked to Hanayome? She might have been someone who was caught up in the incident and killed. And if that's the case, then... She glances over at the files. The dates were 5 years ago, right? Then there might be an article on what happened here in these files. Let's get Suzu to help out too. Go, get a move on. Yes, ma'am. Slave driver. All four of us begin reading through files. Ew, how exciting. The clippings range from the smallest dispute to the most heinous crime in H City, but they're all dated 5 years ago or earlier. They get stored in the garage because they're so old. After a while. Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice. I might have found it! It's from 5 years ago in February. The victim's name is Psycho. Or Psycho? I'm just gonna say Psycho, even though that's probably not how it's pronounced. Ida lays the file out on the desk and we all peer at it. The file is articles about an incident that happened 5 years ago. The victim's name was Psycho Hasegawa? Yeah. Apparently she committed suicide in the forest by H Castle on the eve of her wedding. She was in her dress when she was found. Oof, a bloody wedding indeed. Not a white wedding like that one song would tell you. Suzu, you probably shouldn't read anymore. It's pretty bad. Thanks, Ida. But I want to know more about Hanayome. I feel like I need to do this. She's cringing, but she sounds determined. Between this and sneaking out at night, she's a surprisingly brave kid. What's her parents think about all this, I wondered. It's rather odd for someone her age. I remember now. This happened back when I used to be a news anchor. Christy mutters just loud enough to hear. Then, do you know the whole story? It was horrible. It's hard to recount. A woman was abducted by a gang while she was walking her dog. They brought her to the forest and assaulted her. People found her battered and staggered along the road the next day. The dog was run over and killed near the forest when chased after them. Yeah, they probably did something else as well, which I'm surprised they don't mention it for being a M-rated game. But you can assume. Anyway, that's horrifying. Yeah, but that wasn't the end of Psycho Hasegawa's misfortune. Ida somberly cuts in. His unusual grin is nowhere to be found. It's well known in some circles, but her assault was photographed. Ugh, that's messed up. The pictures were sent to her fiance. They threatened to make them public if he didn't pay up. I heard he gave them a ton of money to get the photos and the negatives. Depending on when this game is supposed to take place, they probably had pictures on their phone and the internet, right? I don't even know what timeline this is supposed to be. If this is supposed to be like the 80s or 90s or whatever. If that's the case, then that's true. But if it's like current, recently, within the last couple of years, yeah, they would have hard drives, backups, all this other stuff. But anyway, is that true, Christy? Yeah, I heard that as well. Because of all of that, Miss Psycho, sorry, had a mental breakdown. And in the end, she hung herself. She'd been a serious, honest woman, so she just couldn't bear it. Yeah, it's usually the people who've never had any corruption in their whole life. They get touched by it barely, and it just messes them up so badly. The cruel fate of a woman attacked before her wedding. We fall silent at that reality as that reality weighs on us. Suzu timidly speaks up, her face pale. Maybe there's a connection between what happened to Miss Hasegawa and Hanayome's phone boxes. According to the article, the incidents that direct her life took place near each phone booth. She was abducted by the park and assaulted by the rest area. She was found wandering near the parking lot by a halfway. You know, it's supposed to be a highway, but it sounds like it's a highway. You know what I mean? Anyway, you see how ridiculous that sounds when you think about it? Anyway, the phone booth connected Hanayome, Psycho Hasegawa. The coincidence sends a shiver down my spine. So that note we found by the telephone booth. Did Seiko's fiance write it? Psycho? Yeah, it's gotta be something else because it's a woman's name, right? So Seiko or Psycho? Psycho? I'm gonna keep saying Psycho. That's the best I'm gonna get. Sekiro. Anyway. Most likely. What's strange is that it was there and not where she committed suicide. Did Hanayome put it there? Maybe she was telling us something. I have no clue how spirits think, but if Suzu's right, then that note is an important clue for us. I seem to recall Miss Psycho's fiancé was a famous musician. As a result, the case was widely publicized at the time. It happened right after they returned from a romantic trip to Greece. Old ladies were sobbing about how it made it all the more tragic. And the poor dog they brought on the trip died heroically as well. Where's the fiancé now? Well, he began acting strange due to the shock and then went missing. Some say her suicide was to follow him. But he wasn't the only one who disappeared. It sounds like all the culprits went missing too. You hear about that online too? Well, something like that. The internet wasn't the same back then. There were only hubs. This has got to be earlier because even 5 years ago there was still a lot of, obviously things have improved, but he's acting like this is taking place in the early 2000s. Because if he's talking about 1995 or somewhere in that area, then yeah, that's true. But hubs like pre-internet chat rooms. Or early 2000s, but you know what I mean. Everyone was talking about it on the whole call hubs back then. There was only one person in the community who knew way too much. I think he was one of the culprits. He brought up a bunch of things like taking pictures and all that. Ugh. Was he trying to just kind of show up or something? I bet those were pictures of the assault. Yeah, that's right. After they were finished, those assholes got a camera out and took pictures of her face and soaking with tears. The whole time she yelled, "Don't look! Don't look!" Don't look, huh? Hanayome has an extreme reaction to being seen by others. He kept going on about it night after night until he suddenly stopped posting. People who knew him said they couldn't contact him at all. Those guys deserve to die, but it's still really creepy, you know? I'm one of those people that, yeah, probably would deserve to die, but it's like one of those, toss-up things. It's pretty heinous, you gotta admit. So, fit the crime and all that. So, suddenly a line from the note pops into my head. I'll dispel all of your heartache. Hey, Christy, do you happen to know exactly where in the forest Psycho, I feel like saying Psycho is kind of disrespectful. Seiko killed herself? I was a reporter at the time, so I did go to the location. But that was 5 years ago, so I don't remember exactly. I feel like I went west from that big arch at the entrance. So you're really going to go? Yeah, we might be able to figure out something about Hanayome. Okay! Though I'd much prefer to stay here. New info was added to the spirit file. Gathering info at the mansion. Alright. Let's go to the mansion. Let's go and switch to Christy this time. Yeah, just swap up all the companions a bit. Alright. She's probably like, I don't want to go. Gathering info at the mansion. The garage shelves contain files and accidents of crimes within H City, from decades old to just a few years ago. We all search through them and find a case with a victim named Seiko Hasegawa, the person mentioned in the note. The details of her case are sickening. Well, we already had a case in the first episode about a boy being probably, so something like this happening to this lady. Not surprising in this story. About the assault on a woman H City. The victim was abducted by a group as she was walking her dog in the forest while waiting for her wedding day. She was found by a phone booth along the highway the next day. But that's not all. The culprits photographed the assault and blackmailed her fiancé with the photos for money. A few days later, all the stress caused her to kill herself. Her fiancé went missing afterwards, with people believing he also committed suicide. Christie investigated the case back then. She says the fiancé was a famous musician. Suseko, I'll dispel all of your heartache. Those words bother me. But there's something else too, and that's the fact that the culprits also went missing after she died. This ghastly case is still unable to gain full closure. The phone box that guided us to the case, the fact that the woman who hung herself wore a wedding dress, the connections to the forest by the H castle, and then the mark bearers won't like it, but we need to go back to the forest. But why I'm so sure of that? I don't know. Alright, I don't know. I checked that. Alright, Mary, you got any words of wisdom for us? I tell Mary about Seko Hasagawa. What a sad woman. Her grudge against the world turned her into Hanayome. If this is indeed the case, you may find a clue in the forest where she committed suicide. Back to the forest, huh? Or back to a forest, anyway. Oh, no, I didn't think of that. Alright, to the forest. Come on, Christy. I know you don't like fighting spirits and all that. Come on. Come on. Gotta do it. Gotta join in on the fun. This is more awkward than I thought. Being out alone with someone who, until recently, was planning to kill herself. Do you have something you want to say? She noticed right away. Is that being that obvious? No, not really. It's fine. You don't have to hide it. You're wondering if I still want to kill myself, aren't you? Is this a woman's intuition? Women are crazy, man. No, I'm just kidding. No, maybe I'm just crap at hiding things. Don't worry, I don't anymore. People hate it when things are forced on them, right? Doesn't matter what it is. ... I can trust you, right? Yes. At least for now. But boy, you shouldn't say that afterwards. That's not going to make me trust you after that. Here's hoping you keep feeling the same, at least while we're together. Just then, the tire hits a bump on the road. I can see a square gray object in the back seat through the rearview mirror. Is that thing back there yours? No, that's an Ita CD radio cassette player. Huh? Why something like that? He said we might need music during the drive, and then went to put it in here himself. But we don't have any CDs or tapes. Should I turn on the radio? No, I'll pass. The conversation grinds to a halt after that. It's like there's an invisible person between us. After falling silent a while, Christy finally speaks up again. It only makes sense for the conversation to turn one direction. That's rather worse, don't you think? After all this time, they don't know. Who doesn't know what? Those two. You think that spirit just helps you find things? A naive fairy tale? Yeah. Christy is exactly right. You quickly become disillusioned once you actually face the spirit. But thinking about it, wouldn't that be best? Christy looks at me in shock. Wait, what are you saying? I just mean... our lives are on the line here. Why don't you stop joking around? Sorry. She's furious at me. But it looks like she was telling the truth about not wanting to die. She's got too much pride. Someone that would never commit suicide. ... What's so funny? Nothing. Will we make it back again? I stare at the headlights and contemplate where we're going. Yeah, back to the murder forest. Hooray. That sigh was pretty deep. I can't believe we're here again. At least I can feel better knowing he's not around anymore. I almost reminded her about Hanayome. Oh, and we can still hear buzzing, either flies or bees, but I stopped myself from opening my mouth. I don't want to break her tenuous calm. Okay. It's supposed to be west of the gate? I look to the west of the gate again, but there's no sign of a trail. Strange. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. When I came here researching an article, there was a path to the west? Exclamation point, question mark. Suddenly, Christie's face stiffens. What's wrong? I feel cold all of a sudden. Question mark, exclamation point. Duh! I follow their gaze and see a low shadow dashing out from the darkness. A demon! Or dog. Certainly seems like one. It kicks up the dirt with 4 legs, but it looks off somehow. Its fur is long and disheveled, and from certain angles its face looks human. The dog stares at us, growling softly. What is it? What is this thing? Is it going to attack us? Is our life going to end here? Find out next time in the next episode of Deathmark. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.